Welcome to another edition of Five Strands with Art Del Cueto. Of course, I'm your host, Art Del Cueto, and it's been a while since we've been on here, and I've spoken to everybody. I've been really busy. I just got back from Washington, D.C. I was out there helping, trying to get a bill across. Thankfully, it went through Congress. Now I'm going to wait on the Senate. But I was very busy all week. I also got the opportunity to go to Congress and sit in on one of the congressional hearings where they were speaking with the ICE director, Mr. Lyons, as well as Rodney Scott was there. Boy, I'll tell you what, I thought about it, and I knew that there was hatred towards ICE, that there was hatred towards Border Patrol by some of these politicians, but nothing was more apparent that this time that I went. You sit there in where everyone else is sitting right behind the individuals that are speaking, and then you have all of Congress in front of you, and they were asking a ton of questions, but sometimes they just want a yes or no answer, so they really attack. They bring out these pictures. It's amazing the amount of lies that they spread about Border Patrol agents and about ICE agents. I don't want to say it's amazing what they don't know, because I think they know. I mean, there's no way they don't know. They know what the ICE agents and Border Patrol agents do, but they choose to send a certain narrative because they want to attack law enforcement. They want to speak bad about agents. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what they need. Now, unfortunately, we're looking at another shutdown. And people say ICE and DHS is funded. Well, they're funded to a degree. What is not funded is paying the salaries. So the agents out there within DHS still are going to suffer without a paycheck, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens moving forward. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm not very optimistic on what they're gonna or not get, and I'll tell you why. Look, the government's gonna end up opening. They're gonna end up getting paid, but everything passed, and they put everything down in the waiting list when it comes to the DHS things. So I think we've lost a lot of leverage moving forward. It seems to be that their big issue is the masks. They don't want agents wearing masks. I'm retired, okay? And I do this, and I do a lot of videos, I do a lot of interviews, and I get a ton of hate mail and threats and you name it. But I put myself in that position. I've said it many times. I don't have private security. You know, I'm my own security at this point, and the world is crazy. So I understand why you have agents that want to have their faces covered and concealed, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because there's so many people out there that want to take video, take pictures of them, put them in some page and say, these guys, this is who they work for. And you got the idiots out there that think that those that work for ICE, those that work for Border Patrol are just evil people. They throw the word Nazi around nonstop. It's so I understand, but that's my concern. Is that's the big issue right now, that they want to be able to tell agents, take off your mask, we want to see you. It's ridiculous. I think it's very, very silly. First and foremost, because agents that have been involved in shootings, the public has found out what they look like because they find out somehow and they put it out anyway. So why is it you want this? The only reason you want this is because you want to dox these agents, put them in a bad position, and just attack them. You know, it's bad enough that they have kids in school. Trust me on this one. I know. When you have children in school, there's certain teachers that really like to push their political beliefs, and they don't care who their students' parents are or anything like that. So that's also frustrating. So I understand why a lot of these agents want to keep their identity concealed. And hopefully we do not bend at that. Hopefully they're able to remain that way. So as I said, I was up in DC. I was very busy running around, getting a lot of stuff done. But as I said, I was sat in a congressional hearing. I really realized how much hate Congress has towards a lot of individuals. On my last day, I went to eat dinner, and I had the privilege to see Ted Cruz. If you follow me on my Instagram, you'll see I posted a picture of us at dinner there. Always a huge pleasure to see Senator Cruz. He's done a lot for this country, continues to do a lot for this country, not just for Texas, but for this country as a whole. So it was really nice seeing him, talking to him, catching up. A true American hero, and I loved every time I see him. He's just a great guy, and he sees me and he always comes up, gives me a hug, and says, "Art, how you doing, Art? You know, how's it going?" So just a really nice guy. So again, let's keep our fingers crossed that this shutdown does not last. as long as the last one did, because agents need to get paid, and it's very, very frustrating. On that note, I'm going to tell the agents as well, you guys can reach out to your financial institutions and find out if there's ways that they would cover some of your payments, or if they'd cover, some of your check until, the shutdown opens up. I know I've talked about it before. I know Cabrillo Credit Union out of San Diego does a lot of that to help out the agents. So let's hope it doesn't last long and we get something settled soon. Now, on to me coming back to Tucson. It's still the same thing. Like I said, I left right after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's over. I saw the halftime show. I hope you guys saw it as well. I did not see the Bad Bunny one. I still haven't seen the Bad Bunny. I haven't even looked it up in YouTube because I really don't care. And it's not because of this, Bad Bunny, I don't like the Hispanic. So many people have been saying it's a racial thing. Look, I speak Spanish, and I want to say I speak Spanish pretty good. It's my first language. As some of the comments, somebody wrote the other day, oh, well, this guy can't even speak in English. I speak well enough for you to understand, buddy, but that's okay. You have to be a troll, so I understand that. I don't listen to Bad Bunny because I don't like that kind of music. And me being a Spanish speaker, I can't understand what he's saying if he is speaking Spanish from what I've said. So I don't understand him. I heard that they said that this was like a unity kind of Super Bowl, but I mean, I don't see how you can have unity from somebody that's saying F ICE and F Border Patrol and everything like that previously before doing that. So I don't know. I like I said, I didn't see it, so I do not know. And I don't care to see it. I did see the Turning Point USA one. Kid Rock rocked as always. Shout out to my buddy out there, Peterson. He first introduced me to Kid Rock back when we were working in the prison system, and I've been a fan of Kid Rock's ever since. I also saw Brantley Gilbert. He was fantastic. Just the show and all, I think, was pretty good. It lasted longer than the other halftime show, so when I went back to the Super Bowl, I actually had skipped some, I think it was 3 minutes of the beginning of the second half. The Super Bowl, let me just say this, it was the most boring Super Bowl I've seen in my entire life. But I promise you the next one will be much better, especially if we are able to see the Pittsburgh Steelers in that Super Bowl. Now, tragically, me being back in Tucson, the big news continues to be Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. They still have not found her. There's so much going on. It's now rained here, so I think some of the evidence that you could find in the desert is either washed away or tampered or whatever you may think. So that's still the big story. I've continued to say there's issues here because we're so close to the border. So if somebody that committed that crime, they could easily head back south. Also, they could use the Mexican repeaters if they're speaking on their phones near the border, so it's harder to track. There's so many things that they're having to deal with. I know I've heard the attacks on the sheriff. I'm not the sheriff. I hate Monday morning quarterbacking things. Would I have done differently? Absolutely. I would have done a lot of things differently. However, I don't have what he has, his evidence or whatever he's information that they have that I don't have. I probably would have secured the scene, left it secured. I would have brought enough floodlights in the back area of our house to make it look like a Hollywood premiere. But those are just little things that I would have done. I would have canvassed that area a lot better. I know there's construction sites. I would have checked those construction sites. Now they have a glove. Let's hope something comes out of it. But again, that glove was found several days after her disappearance. We've now seen another video that her daughter has put out. And I truly think this latest video, it's her speaking from the heart, saying, hey, look, if you have my mom, we love her. We want her back. It's just she's hoping to pull on those heartstrings on these pieces of human garbage that took her mom. We've seen the video now. They got so much that they're trying to find. They're going on all leads, and they've all led to a dead end, unfortunately, and they haven't had more information after that. And I think that's where they've hit desperation because it's a horrible situation. It's a horrible case, and I hate to point fingers. But again, I would have done things different, but at the same time, I feel bad saying that because I don't have the evidence and information that the sheriff does. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. Moving forward, we'll see what comes out of it. I pray that they find her safe. But again, being in law enforcement for a long time, as time continues to pass by more and more, it's just statistically the odds aren't good. So, but we can't lose hope. We can't lose faith. That's the big issue. I'm gonna plan on doing a couple more of these because I've kind of slacked off, but again, because I've been busy and I do the editing, I do everything, so it's kind of it takes a long time. Believe it or not, I didn't think it would. Hats off to Andy. He used to help me with the podcast, and boy, would I need him now. But on that note, share the episode, hit subscribe and share it, and let's get as many people involved as possible. I'll continue on with this, and I'm going to be sharing stories, real stories of the border and stories that I've heard where I can slap my foot and say, hypothetically, if this happened on the border. So we'll see. Be on the lookout for those pretty soon. On that note, folks, till next time, stay safe and God bless.